Hello, happy new month, guys. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the ChallengeDac community Zoom call. On this edition, we have the CEO of the ChallengeDac app, the Challenge EOS application, Mr. Kent, and we also have the co-founder, Chase Escam. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Bosses. All right. Okay, Chase, what do you have for us this week?
Awesome. So another weekly edition of the ChallengeDac AMA. So for you guys who don't know, we host these every week on Fridays usually, and this is a chance for people in the community to come in, ask us questions, and ask what we're doing and what kind of what ChallengeDac's all about, how it works, and we're here to answer all those questions. So for those of you who don't know, Challenge application is a free to download application in the iOS or Google Play Store. Anyone can create an account for free with just their phone number or email address. And that gives you access to the ChallengeDac network. And what the ChallengeDac network is a network where people post smart contract challenges that contain rewards for doing different things. And people can participate and win tokens for participating in people's challenges, or you can post your own challenges and give out tokens for people doing things that you want done. So for example, a lot of people use ChallengeDac for sharing things on Twitter to get more people to reshare things, to get people to like more things. So that's what ChallengeDac is, and we've been running for 4 years now. We've had 8 different versions, and we're working on our 9th. So lots going on with the project this week. I don't know if anyone else has any updates, anything they've been working on that they want to share.
So
yeah,
if you're just joining us, we usually pay attention to the community feedbacks, to the feedback we get from the community members. I would like to urge every community member to put up their questions. If they have any questions to ask the team, you're free to ask the questions, and we are here to answer your questions and make sure that you get satisfied with the responses that you get from the team. And to add to that, we give out 25,000 CHL to everyone who asks questions weekly. So if you drop a question and it's a good question, you are entitled to 25,000 CHL from the team. So don't hesitate to send in your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we like to reward people who contribute and participate, ask questions, because that's vital to creating a good community, is having people provide feedback and getting different perspectives and answering questions. So for this week, we'll probably get right into it. I'm going to share my screen here and talk about Pomelo. So any projects in the EOS world right now, Pomelo is a big deal. It's where there's basically is crowdfunding on the EOS network, and what people can do is they can contribute EOS to certain projects, and then they're able to match those. The EOS network matches those funds. So here's Pomelo right here. Here's some of the different projects, and you can see, they've pledged like about $1 million. $1 million the EOS Foundation has put aside to match what other people donate to these different projects. And Ethereum's been doing something similar with Gitcoin. So this is their Gitcoin, and I guess they've been doing this for a year or two. And this is the way that a lot of projects get funding on Ethereum. So if you look here, some of these are raised, like this one's raised $200,000 on Ethereum here. But now something similar is taking place on EOS, and it's Pomelo. So we didn't participate in the first season. We should have. We did receive a grant, but we didn't know much about what was going on with Pomelo, how it worked. But this season we participated, and you have a grant running, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. EOS San Diego.
EOS
I think you can. Yeah, you can pull it up. Just scroll down. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, let me see if it's if I can find it here. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think you should just search it. Use the search bar.
Search bar. Okay. Oh, here it is.
Right there it is. Right there it is, Chase.
Oh, yeah, here,
I see.
EOS San Diego. And these are all the people who've contributed to it. And then, of course, the EOS Foundation will match or give, it's quadratic funding. So it's basically how many people contribute to a grant and how much they contribute goes into how much they're going to match. So this is an estimate right now for EOS San Diego. And then this, of course, that's your YouTube channel. So you got one up, and then we did 3 for ChallengeDac. And originally what we did is we submitted ChallengeDac as a whole, but that didn't really fit a public good. So we got the suggestion to break it down and open source different parts of our code, and that would qualify as a public good. So one of the things that after talking to the development team, we talked about what are the most important pieces or valuable pieces of code that we could open source to the community. And open sourcing code isn't easy because you have to have it audited. So it costs money to audit the code to make sure it's, no one can hack it, because after all, we have lots of users. And if our software of our code got compromised or someone figured out a way to hack it, our users could lose their tokens, and that wouldn't be good. So for us to audit our code and open source it, parts of it will probably help us grow as a project. And then it makes us a public good, which we're able to receive grant funding for. So the first one that got approved is the ChallengeDac mobile Dapp private key management. And this was big for us. So I know some of you guys, maybe George or Willow, you guys remember in the first few versions, we gave people their private keys when they got when they made a challenge account, they got their private keys, and that was an issue for a lot of people, especially a lot of newbies. So what we did is we developed a system where people are able to securely store their keys in their mobile device, and they really don't even know that they have private keys, but there's a way to make it easy to give people private keys. And we think this is a piece of code that would be valuable for the community. And we spent a lot of time and money developing it. So this is one of the grants that we're going to need help promoting. We'll run challenges asking people to promote it, to help or to contribute to it. Because every time people contribute to it, that's going to help us get more matching funds from the EOS Foundation and the Pomelo prize pool. So that's the first one. Then the second one we had is the reward pooling smart contract function. So for you guys who make challenges, you notice we have the bonus wheel, we have the spinning wheel that gives out prizes. Where those tokens come from is every time someone makes a challenge, we take about 5% of the tokens and put them into a reward pool, and then redirect those to people who win the spinning wheel. And that was another part of our smart contract function, or our code, that our development team thought was important, that would be valuable to open source and audit. So that's another grant that we have going on here. And we're going to need help from the community when we're going to run challenges, asking people to get the word out about this one, share this one as well. And then and these both have been approved. And then we have a third one, which I think is still under review. And this is a challenge network activity tool. So this was one thing that the development team wanted to build, where we have a tool that shows how many challenges were made in any given day, the total amount of rewards given out, daily active users, and publish all this to on a website so people can get some, they can see all the different metrics of the challenge application. And it'd be useful for us as a team too, because then we can monitor how many people are using us, what tokens are using, how many active users we have, how many weekly users we have. So this would be beneficial too. So hopefully this gets approved soon too.
Yeah, and this all started with the foundation offering this way of quadratic formula for raising money, which is something we didn't have under block.one. So thank the foundation for this opportunity.
Yeah. I was listening to one of these, they've been having these chief delegate meetings for EOS, and they've been making them public, the Eden calls. And I've been listening to them for a while. And the chief delegate is this Aaron Cox dude. And Eden started like about a year ago, and he's the chief delegate now of the Eden. And now they're transitioning over to Fractally, or they want to make it Fractally now. And he's on the board, and he's thinking to himself, he's like, well, the only reason I got involved with Eden in the first place was I thought it might be a potential source of funding. Because he's thinking like, why am I even on this? And he's like, over the last year, all these other things have come around where this isn't as important anymore. We have the EOS Foundation with the recognition grants. We have Pomelo. Supposedly Helios is going to do some stuff too. So there's more avenues and more support systems for projects like ours building on EOS than ever before. I mean, the last 2 or 3 years, nothing like this has existed, and people were hoping that block.one was going to do something, but obviously they never did.
No, and this is the problem we've had. This is why the token prices continue to suffer. This is why people have left EOS. This is why on my channel, I get tons of people with negative comments about EOS, because nobody has made an effort to put something back into the development of the blockchain, like what the foundation is doing through Pomelo. And I think Pomelo is actually very easy to use. I set my grant up and didn't take very long, just a few minutes, and it's user-friendly. Front end works well. It seems to be, getting interest. Other people, I think I've got 7 or 8, 9, 10, 15 people that have already given a little bit of EOS to the EOS San Diego. And of course you can, there's a shopping cart. If you have a Anchor wallet, you can use some of your EOS to contribute to one of these different causes that you like, or one of these different projects you like. And of course, then the foundation matches it through some quadratic formula, which makes whatever you give, it gets compounded quite a bit. So, even a few EOS for a project is going to make a big difference to any of these projects. So, if you like what you see, then give a few EOS to each one of these projects, and it'll help them get some more money and help them to grow, which is going to grow this whole ecosystem, this EOS blockchain, which is what we've lacked for the last 3 or 4 years under block.one, which is hopefully never to be heard from again. Sorry about that, but that's the way I feel.
Yeah, and I think this is a time that developers need to reunite. Those that
I mean, basically, block.one took all the money and built their bullish exchange. So they turn their 4 billion into Bitcoin. I think they come up with 9 or 10 billion in Bitcoin, and now using that to back their bullish exchange. And anybody that built on the EOS blockchain in that period of time just got left out of the whole. We got basically barred from our own blockchain by the fact that the money was diverted to an exchange that only a few people control and have control over. That's where I see it. Chase, what do you think?
Yeah, and it's one thing to raise $4 billion or whatever, but it's another thing to make misleading comments and misleading.
Absolutely. So, and that's what they did. They made a lot of misleading comments. You showed them on your Twitter account with Brendan Bloomer on Bloomberg. It's saying that they were going to give $1 billion back to developers. They didn't give a penny back. So,
you wouldn't think it takes a lot of critical thinking to know that when statements like that are said, it's said to make excitement in the community, to make people to lead on developers, to get them to develop. And at some time down the road, they think that there'll be some sort of funding, which is starting to materialize now, but never materialized with any of the $4 billion that block.one got. And you would think that if you raise $4 billion and of $1 billion or a half or $500 million would be enough, and you could keep the rest. But it looks like they weren't even able to do that. But it's good to see that the EOS Nation guys are stepping up to the plate. They're getting control of the chain, and they're basically able to take the inflation and tokens and direct them into development, which is desperately needed.
Yeah, I am part of the community. I do attend the fireside chat weekly. So I have experienced some kind of upgrade, and I think the community is doing well. The team, the major team, they are the ones that attend the fireside chat. I would say they are doing well, and the EOS Foundation too are doing well. So kudos to the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apart from some pillars that they put up, we have the ENF, we have healers, we have not EOS, we have the EOSBs as well. Chase, if you find Kent, if you find negative comment like that, I always check it out from now. The B is one of the job of an EOSB is is to fight against this negative comment, in a manner that does not, so it's our job as
Fight
a
against
B.
misinformation.
I mean,
What did you say?
Fight against misinformation, right?
Exactly.
you mean on social media or on social media, right?
Yeah, any platform at all, any platform at all. So that's it. I
Yeah.
mean,
And the
anytime
EOS
that
Like as long as the context is EOS, you just help to rebuff food.
exactly.
Yeah, and I've already noticed
Yeah.
they've written articles for us in different languages too. So I don't know if that's something that they do a lot of, but I've seen some different in Vietnamese or different languages about ChallengeDac that were I believe published by the EOSBs.
Yeah, we have about six languages. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's helpful to.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very, very helpful.
And I also think the foundation is actually practicing decentralization intensively, like recently.
Yeah, so far the foundation.
I mean, the ENF.
Yes, they've done a lot of good for EOS. And I think people are still thinking EOS is still like it was 3 years ago, but it's not. It's changed. It's different. It's different than it used to be. And I hope people recognize that this thing is starting to be a little bit friendly for the developers, and they're not just sitting on the money and looking at a token price that continues to fall in value, which is what we've seen for the last 3 years. And I catch it all the time on my channel. I'll come on and I'll make a positive EOS video, and I'll get 20 negative comments about EOS. It's over with. It's done. It's not going to work. It's finished. Don't waste your time on it anymore. But those people are still living before the foundation's taking over the platform. Now the foundation has the platform. We're growing, and we're money's being distributed to the projects, and it's not being hoarded by a few people to create an exchange that nobody's going to profit from except for a few people.
Yeah, you can't have a decentralized network and then centralize all the wealth and centralize all the
exactly.
Exactly.
That's how you lose your blockchain.
Yeah. So, but it's fast. I mean, for something like we're using for the challenge application, it's fast and EOS works and it's a high speed, is high functional blockchain. And I haven't heard about anything being censored, so there's no censorship on the network. So it's a valuable blockchain, it's a useful blockchain, but there's just been so much, the reputation is gotten so bad and the price where it's just like it's got a bad reputation right now. But one thing about challenge application is we don't have to be tied to any one blockchain. I mean, we can add 100 blockchains if we want to. So recently we added Telos.
Exactly.
And we've been running Telos challenges, and Telos almost seems to be working as good as EOS or better. And there's no reason that we can't add other blockchains in the future too. Like I know, City, you've talked about adding Hive. We've had our developers look at Hive before.
Yeah, Hive blockchain.
Yeah.
We could also look into the Polygon in future.
Yeah. So But we just keep perfecting what we do well, our user interface, our token mechanics, our you know, all that stuff. We can take that with us on any blockchain and build that on other blockchains too.
Yeah, that will help expose the application. You know, so far so good. We have members from different parts of the world, and that's really interesting. You know, is the growth, like our boss just said, the growth is what we love to see, and it's what we want to see.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully,
Yeah,
we get listed on top exchanges. Yeah, I hope that this year CHL should be listed on Binance. That will be a huge news for our community.
yeah.
That's
So far,
a
so
very
good.
huge. That's a very huge dream. That's a huge. And it will
Yeah,
be very amazing if that comes true.
I mean, everyone would love
Yeah.
to see CHL listed on Binance. Everyone, every community member.
Yeah, so I'm just looking up to tell us to get listed on Binance. I think that will also help us. Then we should look into the P tokens listing. The
Yeah,
P tokens
Actually,
listing.
I think I have an idea. I think if we can work on if Telos gets finally listed on Binance, and then you can work on the P token for CHL on Telos. I think
Yeah,
that would indirectly mean CHL can directly trade on Binance. If
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying.
We're close here. I got my screen
Yeah.
pulled up, and Binance tracks us. So Binance is taking the time and money to hire developers to put a chart up for us to track our price. They don't have any, you're not able to trade the token, but they're following our project. So, you know, all you people, everyone who's been accumulating challenge tokens, if you have a 10,000, a few 100,000 challenge tokens, you know, you could imagine what would happen is all of a sudden Binance said, we're going to list CHL. And normally, you know, you hear stories even on the EOS calls where they say, well, they want a $10 million listing fee, or they want you to market make for so long. But if enough people demand that they add CHL, and if they hear enough from our community, sooner or later they will list the token if enough people demand it. And the same with Coinbase too. Coinbase tracks the CHL price, hired people to track, you know, make graphs tracking our price, and they're looking at us too. So if any one of those exchanges were to go ahead and list the project, that'd be huge. It'd be huge for us.
Yeah, I think we have CHL on the $5. I don't know if we've tried trading CHL on the $5. Jez, you know the $5?
Yeah, I saw the post about trading CHL on the $5, but I was supposed to make a video tomorrow, so I'll test it out tomorrow.
All right, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
So check it out.
It's very essential because I'm looking for more ways where we can swap the CHL, and if I've tried some apps, and it's kind of
it's very easy.
Alcohol supports that.
simple as-
Alcohol exchange supports that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anchor
it's as easy as
is a little bit slow when it's connected because it's not like an extension. Just like Wombat has an extension, but Anchor does not have an extension. You're using the direct wallet app.
No,
so
I
it
meant
takes a lot of time to connect.
alcohol. Alcohol.
Okay,
Yeah,
Anchor.
I was referring to alcohol. Yeah. Alcohol exchange.
Has anyone used Alcor before? Alcor, I see where they list us, and it's the only exchange that has a Bitcoin peg. We're traded against Bitcoin. So on the Alcor exchange, we actually have a Bitcoin trading pair, but it's not very active. And there's actually a way to set up a liquidity pool. If you can set up a liquidity pool on
Sure.
Alcor too, but I don't know if it's working well, and there's not a whole lot of activity with CHL on Alcor. But maybe,
Yeah, Zach was actually in charge of that, but I haven't heard from him. I don't know the progress so far.
yeah.
He was the one that set it up.
Yeah. So maybe that's something that we can do as a community, is try to promote that exchange more, and and try to get people using it. But that's one thing that you're taking on, right, Anthony, is help educating people on where they can get CHL at, where they can trade it at. And then remember that people can buy it over the application too. So we're selling it over the application. And if you refer somebody and they buy tokens over the application, you get a 5% kickback. So everybody who has a ChallengeDac application, you have a referral code, or your name, your ChallengeDac username is your referral code. And if people enter that in when they sign up and that person buys CHL, then you can get 5% of whatever they purchase. And we already have people purchasing the token. I see where there's some people that have already bought it multiple times. They're buying it every few weeks. And you know, if you're somebody that refers somebody and they start buying every week, and you know, you're getting a piece of that action.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. And I think this is an opportunity to give some people that are here time to ask questions.
Definitely, yeah.
We have Mr. Robert. He has been anticipating this Friday discussion, for some time now. He's been very active on our Telegram channel. So if you have any questions, suggestion, this is a time for you to say it. Mr. Robert, are you there? Okay, we can.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if people's mics are. We have someone.
I think you need to fix your mic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it looks like we got CHL. Someone dropped. Oh, Anthony dropped something in the chat here. CHL BTC pair on Alcor Exchange. I will definitely dive into this. So yeah, that's one thing. I mean, we can't forget about all the places we are listed at, and making sure that people know where they can find us. I mean, like we said, on the challenge application, you can buy the token. On Nudex, DeFi Box, Alcor Exchange, all different places you can buy CHL. So it looks like we had about a half a dozen, 7, 8 people on here, so not a huge call. So I don't know if anyone has any questions, but if you do, ask now. If not, we can wrap things up. But I think the name of the game this week is to run challenges on all these Pomelo grants. So they said that they put a lot of work into making it where you have these links and you can share it on social media. So I think it's important for us to take these grants and give out EOS for people who share them. I mean, what kind of ideas do we have to share these grants and try to get people to help contribute?
I think running a challenge to share the grant, the proposal is great. It's great. I think, but I also know that one of the rules for Pomelo is you don't get to pay people to donate and all. So let's be guided on this.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. We don't run campaigns for reviews, right?
No, what I'm saying is you can actually, tell people to share it, whichever way they can share it, but you don't get to pay people to, to donate for you.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So we'll do to get out the word and spread material. If we get material out, ask people to get out or ask or run challenges to have people ask people to donate. Then that probably should be but
All right. Yeah. I wanted to ask, are the developers done with the maintenance?
It's ongoing. So
on the app.
We set up if there's any errors, we walked it through on last week's recording where you can go. We built a website where people can put in support tickets. So anytime you have bugs or there's some sort of issue, I mean, issues are always popping up. There's always bugs that pop up or whatever. But anytime you have an issue, we have a new website and we're going to link it to the app and people can go in, put a support ticket in, say what their challenge username is, and drop a screenshot of whatever problem they're having. And this will help us be able to figure out how, get a handle on all the bugs and how to be able to fix them best.
I also think you should put that link in the group description on Telegram.
Yeah, because it's live now. So this will help us just stay on top of all the different
You can share the link to me.
Yeah, cool.
You can share the link to me. I'll drop it on Twitter.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I don't see any questions. Actually, let me see, recording.
That's me, Chase.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think that's about everything. I mean, unless anyone has any questions, I think we went over pretty much all the big stuff this week, right?
Yeah, Pomelo's huge.
Yeah, it's exciting to see Pomelo and you know, for a lot of us have been on these EOS calls and listening to the work they've done and seeing these guys figure it out and get much needed resources, because the EOS blockchain has so much potential. I mean, it's got so much potential. There's so many things that could happen on there. Just a little bit of funding can go a long ways. So it's nice to see these guys work to make that happen, and that's what EOS needs to be competitive. And I mean, you can have the greatest blockchain in the world, just like challenge application. Challenge app can be very great. It can run smooth, not have any bugs. But if no one uses it, then it's not, you know, widely known or not a valuable application. So, you know, it's important that there's activity, that things get built on the network, and so this Pomelo is going to be an important tool for this. So it's important for us to get these grants out, get them in front of as many people as we can, and see what we can do.
Yeah, and the other thing it does is it gives recognition to people for building on EOS. So when you're kind of in the background and nobody knows what you're doing, and all of a sudden you can create a grant and people can kind of understand or see or donate, it gives you a little bit of feelings like you're not out there by yourself. You're not just struggling against unmovable forces and not being able to ever be heard. So this has been an opportunity. And as I go through the grants, I see a lot of people read it. They have great ideas, but they just need a little bit of a head start, or they need a little bit of recognition. And as we know, with block.one, block.one wouldn't even recognize the stuff that was built, and wouldn't even recognize. I mean, we were on, when block.one controlled the blockchain, we'd been on the blockchain for a long time. I tried to get Dan Lemmer on my channel. He wouldn't come. I tried to talk to people at block.one. Nobody would talk to me. I mean, it was basically a closed door. There was just a division between what was running on the blockchain and the people that controlled the resources. There was no interaction between any of us. And believe me, I tried.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, so did I. I mean, I had I was talking to people from block.one all the way back in 2018 is when I started talking to someone from block.one. So they were still doing their crowd sale. So I was able to talk to a few people during their crowd sale, but they weren't as easy to talk to after the crowd sale. After the crowd sale ended, they were harder to get a hold of.
Yeah, they used this real lame excuse that because they were now under Security and Exchange Commission rules and regulations, they couldn't talk to anybody. So they basically give themselves a free out, that they could just, you know, divide themselves from the community, that they were, you know, division from the community because of the decentralization issue. But that was just a really lame way of handling it. Just like Dan Lammer's doing right now. He's trying to put all the blame on block.one, like he didn't do anything wrong. He was a, you know, lily white guy, and he did everything correct. And he was a good guy, the white hat. And block.one was just keeping him from doing anything good. So that's kind of been the basic mantra from those guys.
Yeah. Well, you know, regardless, we'll continue to build the application. If it's built on EOS or if it's built on Telos, wherever, but the challenge idea will continue on whatever blockchain we can build it on. And but right now, you know, we'll really focus on this Pomelo and campaigning. You know, Challenge is the perfect platform to be able to promote these grants and get them out to
Exactly.
people. And so, yeah, we'll focus on that this week. And I think that's it. You got anything else?
Okay,
Yeah,
guys. For the newbies who will be watching, for the people who will be watching this very call on YouTube, you can head over to our website, our official website, ChallengeDapp.io, ChallengeDapp.io, to read about the application, or you can download Challenge EOS on the Play Store or the App Store. Otherwise, you could head over to our Telegram group. Just type challenge_DAC, challenge_DAC, and you get into the community to ask you questions or make suggestions or just be part of the community. It's an awesome community. I've been with the community for about 4 years now. So feel free to join us, guys. Stay safe.
Awesome.
Yo, keep sharing the challenge use application to your friends and family. And you know, you get to win 5% of whatever they, you know, invest in by getting to buy CHL on the application.
Awesome. Awesome. Exactly. Exactly. So thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah. Bye everyone.
See ya.